Don't call me a Karen. Does Karen things? I am the victim. That's just this whole video in a nutshell. I love it. Well, good evening. Laddies, lasses, and lasses, you look dandy finalicious today, if I may say so myself, especially you, Olivia. How are you doing today? Olivia, do you smell good today? Olivia, of course you do. You're here. Everyone here smells amazing, but especially you, Olivia. So today, we are gonna look at r/frick YouKaren, and we're gonna debunk some of the most unpleasant people in this godforsaken world we have, and regain some hope in humanity that we at least can agree that they are doing the stupid. So I do hope you enjoy. And you better subscribe to the channel or I will talk to your manager. Karens against police brutality. I'd like to speak to the manager of systematic racism, please. Is this just a massive character arc for all Karens? I'm gonna run out of content, come on. It's like, hi, I want to speak to your manager so you can get the raise you deserve. I've never understood why people are against video games. Every weekend, my son invites his friend to spend the night and play video games, showing that it's a great group activity. Sure, people can say it's violent. It's no more violent than what they show on TV or murder or shootouts and assault. People can tell the difference between real and fake. She is the chosen one. It's a Karen. Oh, it's so beautiful. Instead of all that like political BS, like video games causes violence, and like yeah, the Crusades were totally inspired by Grand Theft Auto. Yeah, I totally buy it. Actually, fun fact: there's always anecdotal evidence when it comes to things, like especially people who are a bit nutty that get inspired by practically everything. But it's more to do with what they just happen to get inspired by, rather than them being a stable person. It's not like they were a completely functioning member of society, and then they played Minecraft, and God, now they're like that. One fascinating fact is actually that video game consumption correlates negatively with homicide rates. This is mainly because video game consumption correlates with economical welfare in a country, and economical welfare in a country and economical equality also correlates with reduced homicide rates. So indirectly in that way, video game consumptions actually correlates negatively with homicide rates, because that means a country is more well off, which typically means less violence, less corruption, etc., etc. So that's food for thought. Very nice. Moving on, next, May. When work seems to be going a little too well and then the lights flicker and the boss music starts. Oh, you're about to die! Can you imagine a Dark Souls mod where all the bosses are just Karens? It's not about getting more difficult themselves. They're just like, I'm calling your manager, and you lose all your equipment because you're a bad employee, and you just have to fight him with your bare fists, and you just get stomped on. You will address me by my husband's rank. You didn't storm no beaches, Karen. You stormed that bottle of sangria. I am a sangria sergeant. Thank you very much. Hashtag boss babe. Hashtag quirky girl. Hashtag live, laugh, frick me sideways. The children at my son's elementary school have started referring to me as Karen and mocking my chick hairstyle. Is there anything I can do in the way of legal action to prevent this? I am deeply offended. Well, posting questions about suing 8-year-olds is probably the wrong way to beat the stereotype. If you're that insecure, change your haircut. Like, God. I asked a woman who was standing too close to me in line at Home Depot to give me 6 feet of space. She laughed and said, "Ha! I'll give you some freaking space!" And now it's like 15 feet behind me, thinking she won, and not realizing this is my absolute best case scenario. What? What do you mean? How would that be a win? You're just giving them what they want, but more. As an American, you have the right not to wear a mask. But, just like you, businesses have a right not to let you in or serve you. You can't have it both ways. You're free to make a choice that means accepting the consequence of your action. Screaming at employees in business for protecting their workers and customers does not make you a patriot. It makes you a bum-bum. Don't mistake inconvenience for oppression. That is so true. And what I also love about this is somehow like your freedom trumps everyone else's freedom. It's like my freedom to not wear a mask, but it's also like, well, my freedom to run my business how I want. It does go two ways. You know, if you have absolute freedom, that means it goes for everyone else too. And it also means consequences of those actions, because you are an adult person. At least you're supposed to be, but in some cases a bit of an iffy scenario if you ask me. A large group of Karens, it's called a homeowners association. Ah! Choose your fighter. Susan is gossipy and addicted to wine. Karen summons the manager. Brenda watches Grey's Anatomy and believes she's a medical expert. This whole thing just gives me Facebook vibes. Will marry a Karen to leave Russia. No, don't be that. Oh, it feels so desperate. No, please. My mom asked me what makes a woman a Karen. I showed her this. She immediately understood. Lol, today some Asian lady actually had the audacity to put her face mask on and go towards the other side of the sidewalk to avoid me, a white woman who definitely does not have coronavirus. Nice job, lady. You started this. The ability to speak does not make you intelligent. This is what I think is so fascinating about this. You literally just put all Asians in one camp as like a super racist. And you're expecting them to put all the white folk in one camp, but in a positive way, like positive racism or something. How does this work? Have you ever spoken to any people outside your mom's Facebook group? Dear God. Good afternoon, ladies. What can I start you off with today? Coffee, cocktails, the manager? This is not funny, says Karen. They will eat the manager. That's the plot twist here. The manager is actually a dish, a dessert, if you may, after they have already enjoyed the meal. Then they're like, can we have the manager now? And they're like, oh, dig into it. Oh, God, please. Karen's just evolved into cannibalism, and it would make for a pretty great horror film, not gonna lie. Y'all talking about Karens, but nobody remembered the biggest Karen. I hated that character so much. Oh, my God. She was so punchable. It was nuts. Oh, gah. La, la, la. We would like to speak with the manager. It's so beautiful. You know, like when opera singers can break glass with their tones? This would just break brain cells, I think. So beautiful. A group of Karens should be called the complaint. And that's a fact. Oh my God, Purdy Poo. American Asians that have grown up in the USA. This random lady. Racism, yeah. A little bit of racism. Oh, yes. This lady at Jamba Juice just cut me in line, and the worker saw, so when it was my time to order, he goes, congrats, you were the 18th customer today. You get a free drink of choice. Oh my God, her face. That is beautiful. Oh, it's like not even causing a scene about it or having to engage in a very unnecessary conflict to save 10 seconds in a line. It's just, oh, the karma. I love it. COVID Karen demanding to see every chief medical doctor. Stuff that I read on Facebook. Science. USA. I have my freedom of opinion or something. So my opinion on Facebook is worth just as much as an experienced doctor. Mental state of managers. Karens. Oh. Well, I wonder how they manage. Something to think about. Hashtag save our children. Think kids should wear masks? Think again. You'll never be able to really tell if they needed help. It's not the same as like duct taping their mouth. It's a mask. You're supposed to be able to breathe and talk through it. It's a piece of cloth, not like a solid piece of glued plastic. It's very different. My God. Yes, the K word is stronger than the N word. X to doubt, at least currently. X to double doubt. Misogyny and patriarchy has been around longer than slavery. Just don't use either, okay? Dear millennials, stop saying Karen. Karen is sexist and racist. That's right, it's a race now. Term equivalent to the N-word for white women. Calling a woman Karen is an attempt to get rid of women's rights and stand up for themselves. Everybody. I don't think I will. Karen literally has to do with, like, your behavior. I mean, people even talk about male Karens, for example. Karen is not to do really with race or anything. It's just happened to be that the stereotype is like this unlikable, typical, middle-aged white woman. But there are plenty of people who are Karens who don't fall into that category. The term is literally describing a behavior, not a ethnic characteristic. So the point is that if you don't want to be called a Karen, you can literally just don't be an a-hole. We would call you like an a-hole instead. Is that better? This is just a funny way of referring to people what they are. A douche. Scuba dive instructor. You need to wear a mask to enter the water. Karens. I don't think I will. Ha ha! Joke's on me. Karen. If your car is older than 2017, you're disgusting, and I don't want to see you living near me. I hate looking out my window and seeing Hondas and Ford trucks. Having the garage next door lower my home equity, and it's not fair to me. If you can afford a nice house, you should drive a Mercedes, Porsche, or BMW, so I can sell my house and value it like it's a nice Gucci neighborhood. I am so livid that my HOA won't force them to get new cars. Bleep is going to bloop. I can't wait to move. You know you have some control freak tendencies when you want to force your neighbors to buy new, really expensive cars because of your property value? Attention! Per CDC, NIA, and ADPH guidelines, medical associates will not write face mask excuses for anyone. Absolutely no exceptions. How many times did you think they have to fend people off before putting up the sign? Oh. Someone said a group of Karens is called a privilege, and I have not stopped laughing. How to refer to a different size of groups of Karens. Oh, I love this. 1 Karen, a Karen, 5 Karens, a complaint, 10 Karens, a homeowners association, 20 Karens, a Facebook group, 50 Karens, a class action. I love when language evolves. Oh, beer and wine. No Karens allowed in the store. I like how they actually wrote it out. A teacher saw a 12-year-old black kid play with a Nerf gun at home on Zoom. Video recorded him, showed cops. Cops went to his home. He was suspended. His disciplinary record says he took a facsimile of a firearm to school. He now has a criminal record with a sheriff's office. Are you serious? I love good teachers, and I hate bad teachers. This definitely falls in the latter category. What are you doing? Is this why you became a teacher? For like the power surge? Are you kidding me? This is so bad. And the fact that like the public office played along with it is even worse. 1 star. Walked in at 10:20 a.m. for bacon and eggs. I was told they were done serving breakfast. Seems strange not to serve breakfast at breakfast. I kindly brought it up and was told not to come back. Horrible customer service. Don't worry, I won't come back. Hi, if I remember correctly, you were not kind at all. We'll leave it at that. Regardless, our policy, which is on display, is that breakfast stops at 10 a.m. And I'm not worried because if you came back, I'd kick you out again. There's always 2 sides to the story, and if one side is a Karen, it's no side of the story. High school graduate, bachelor degree, master degree, PhD, Karen's 5G blog. Did you know that mind control? If you put foil on your cat, the government can no longer use them as spies. Life hack. Karen asked the question, who is the admin on this site? I'm sorry, but your name is Karen, and you're basically asking for the Facebook group equivalent of a manager. It's so rampant, they are even asking for the managers in their own Facebook groups now. Thank you. Thank you all who showed up to support the twins today. As a general rule of etiquette for those who don't know, when you see your children out have a lemonade stand, you stop. The lemonade most likely sucks, and it's probably warm, possibly a bug floating in the ice, but you still stop anyway because the children are cute and are discouraged when you drive by ignoring them. At one point I had to put up a barricade forcing drivers to stop and acknowledge my kids. It should never have to come to that point. That can't be legal. This is kind of the same entitlement. The world revolves around me, and then by proxy, it also revolves around my kids. People are free to buy lemonade if they want to. Like, if I had to make the choice if I was walking by a cute lemonade stand and the kids were pleasant, I would probably buy something even if I wasn't really thirsty. Because it's cute, and you want to encourage it. By demanding that people that drive in traffic, that might be in a hurry, or might live another life, or maybe the lemonade was that bad, that's not a good selling point if they have flies in it, unless you sell it as, extra protein or something. That's kind of hip. But you can't, stop people in their day forcefully and have them spend time on your kids. That one, it becomes weird. If you just made a casual post saying, encourage kids in general, awesome. If you made a post, I will force people to encourage my kids. This kid is a little bit yikers. The blood of Christ is my vaccine. God. And soon you'll get to thank him in person. People like this are really weird. And I don't know, this sounds so bad out of context. It sounds like some kind of vampire B movie. Oh, I'm sick. I need to suck your blood for the vaccine in it. Is that what it means? Was Jesus vaccinated? Norwegian Prime Minister on gaming. We need better tools to reach all of those who sit in the room gaming and engage in extremism. Yeah, sure, there can be extremists in any group of people, but I think it's kind of a weird way of, finding a scapegoat. Extremism has kind of always existed. If you want to look for a pretty dangerous source for extremism, you should look at instead how, for example, algorithm works on, take Facebook, YouTube, all that kind of stuff. The problem is if you start going down a rabbit hole of, for example, extremist views or conspiracy theories or something like that, the algorithm will always recommend you similar things, which makes it even easier than it normally is to slip down a rabbit hole of, for example, conspiracies or weird extremism. That would be a valid debate to have, honestly, when it comes to everything from anti-vaxx to pseudoscience to any one of these things, or even political extremism, as I assume you're talking about. That would be more valid than just say, if you play Minecraft, you're probably a Nazi. It's be practical. And don't just engage in these empty... whatever this is. I think it's just trying to find easy scapegoats. That's basically what this is. I'm the great Karen Holio, the manager, will speak to my bunghole. Karen, new Among Us mode. Which new model of Among Us do you like the best? Oh God, she's trying to speak to your manager. Run, please. Oh God. When you want to speak to the manager of the meth lab. My meth was not a... A white woman in relay? And she called a black woman the N-word, and said she would do it again because she felt forced into using the racial slur because she thought the black woman was being too loud at a restaurant. Good night, y'all. Or you can just, like, if it really bothers you that much, you can just, you know, walk over and say, hi, excuse me, I see you're having a good time. Could you please, like, be a little bit more quiet? I really enjoy the vibe of your company, but it's getting slightly loud. And like, oh, no, perfectly. No worries. It's a public place. Like, oh, thank you so much. Have a good evening. There you go. Perfect. But no, it's like, slur. The 3 stages of Karening. Ooh, I like that. That's like a verb now. The call. Hello, 911. Yes, they're being black in public. The dare. Go ahead, post your video. The meltdown. No, I'm so misunderstood. I'm the least racist person. I've worked with a black lady once. We never spoke, but she was there. I have a Prince CD. The new Halloween is going to be about Michael Myers being confused that no one is out in the streets to kill, and then meeting some angry blonde lady yelling at him for wearing a mask. What a plot twist. The character that is like supposed to be the horror just suddenly got flipped. If you're wondering how intelligent the anti-lockdown, anti-masker crowd is, they're currently out and about protesting restrictions that were lifted 15 hours ago. We want this! When do we want it? Now! You got it 15 hours ago. Oh! What is the male equivalent to a Karen? Is it Matthew? I feel like it's Matthew. Karen is a racist term. Be careful about adding to this. Oh! That's like, if the behavior didn't exist in the first place, the term wouldn't exist. Oh, the whole group name is blurred out, but then moms. Oh, that can't be good. Any group that ends with moms is usually a bit of a interesting place. You guys, we have to do something about the store Hot Topic. Oh, I know a hot topic, if you know. Anyway, I went in there today with my daughter Ashley, and just to see if they had any of those cute little pop figures of Carrie Underwood, and I was in shock by the merchandise they sold. The store gladly promotes Satanism and the homosexuals. Oh, the agenda. I asked to speak to a manager regarding their horrid merchandise, and this young lady with colorful hair and piercings all over her face said that she was the manager. Oh! Quickly told her never mind, grabbed my daughter and left the store because she was with the good Lord as my savior. I wasn't going to talk to a store full of gay satanic clowns. As the woman of faith, I will pray for the Hot Topic and their employees that desperately need the Lord's guiding light because it's poisoning the minds of our kids. Gay satanic clowns? Honestly, who's down to create like an LGBT-positive political party with me that's called the Satanic Gay Clowns? Freedom to not wear a mask. Welcome to the Freedom Cafe. We trust you to make your own choices if you want to wear a face mask. And in the same spirit of individual liberty, we allow our staff to make their own choices about the safety procedures they prefer to follow as they prepare and serve your food. We encourage employees to wash their hands after using the bathroom, but understand that some people may be allergic to certain soaps or may simply not wash their hands. It is not our place to tell them what to do. We understand that you might be used to chicken that has been cooked to 165 degrees. We do have to respect that some of our cooks may have seen a meme on YouTube saying that 100 degrees is fine, and we do not want to encroach on their beliefs. Some servers may wish to touch your food as they serve it. There is no reason that a healthy person with clean hands can't touch your food. We will take their word for it that they are healthy and clean. Water temperature and detergent are highly personal choices, and we allow our dishwashing team to decide how you'd prefer to wash the silverware you put in your mouth. Some of you may get sick, but almost everyone survives food poisoning. We think you'll agree that it's a small price to pay for the sweet freedom of no one ever being told what to do, and especially not for the silly reason of keeping strangers healthy. How the turntables? Just seems that it's literally a Karen. Just seems that our children nowadays don't respect much as they think down to parents to show them, tell them as they are growing up what's good and what's bad. Karen, where's the proof this was kids? Could have been anyone. I think it was teenagers, that's what I think. I am not proud of this, but I just made a scene in public for the first time in my life. Walked into a Starbucks and they asked me to put a mask on. I yelled, "This is BS!" I turned around and walked out. I know what you're thinking. My first mistake was walking into a Starbucks. Even though vaccinations are increasing in most parts of the world and people are gaining a higher immunity and the spread is not as high, I think it's just common courtesy to still have a face mask in your back pocket. So in case you go to a store where someone is, for example, immunocompromised or have a more strict mask policy or is more crowded, like if you spend time on public transport or crowded places or standing in line, I think it's still a pretty decent thing to put on a mask, or at least have it readily available. Even if yourself is not worried about getting sick, it's nice to just show others that you care. Because you can still kind of carry the thing around in your airways and stuff, even if you yourself are immune or have already had it. Just common courtesy, I suppose. r/France.
Why is everything on here in French? This is sub about the place, not the language. Reddit is American and we speak English. The internet is American. Edit. Touchy bunch, I guess. Some of you are downright mean.
190 comments, no karma. Ooh, that's a comment section that will be interesting to dig into. Oh my. Please remember, these are kids, this is a county fair, advisors are volunteers, judges are human, your child is not showing in the Olympics. It's like football moms that get way too excited about their kids competing. It's like the most sad and the most funny thing ever at the same time.
Karen wants to speak to the manager of your galaxy. Bish mode.
The future is now.
To the old white dude who insisted on pointing at my car and then pointing at the 25 miles per hour sign in my own neighborhood as we drove past. Thanks for being a pee-pee to me and the kids in the back seat who was desperate to pee. The presumption of white men never ceased to amaze. That's right, it's my neighborhood, so I have the right to speed.
I don't think you would be as lenient if your neighbor, the white dude, was the one speeding and your kids were the ones playing on the street. If just the turntables, I think your attitude would be the exact opposite.
Yeah. Arrogantish, cantalish.
Larva stage. Ah, yeah, that haircut tells me everything. Isn't this the character from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory?
You those shots are a death sentence.
Nah, they just frick up your arm for a bit.
It's fricked up to say, but you want to bet money on it?
That I die, or
that you get cancer?
You incel, are you freaking stupid to believe that shite? Reddit karma, here I come. It's like an inverse life insurance.
We had to cut our trip short to Yellowstone because we weren't informed that we don't cage the animals at nights for our protection. This is just dangerous and unacceptable.
Yeah, look at all those meat eaters. Oh my god. I don't think I know a single nature reserve where they lock up animals at night. It's just a region where animals can walk freely and it's kind of like preserved. You're thinking of like a zoo or something.
Google what I want to be true. I am a researcher. Oh, on my Coleco.
I remember that Simpson episode. Those computers were beasts.
When the ride isn't even over yet and you already want to speak to the manager, I am already disappointed.
Karen, speaker manager.
Rage tone? Don't use that tone with me. Bring me the manager.
It's like a voice box. I love this. Wall of shame. A Karen shoplifted from some local store. The ultimate chads of the staff put this up.
That is amazing.
Oh! Well, laddies, lasses, lassos, that is the end of this video. I do hope you enjoyed it and that you learned something today. Or something. Have an awesome rest of your day. You smell amazing. Don't let anyone else tell you otherwise. And I hope to see you in the very near future. Take care, you beautiful, beautiful being.